All NEET aspirants, you are listening to podcast Botany for NEET by S. Ramakrishna. In this podcast, molecular basis of inheritance, that is properties of genetic material. In earlier experiments of the transduction by Hershey and Chase, DNA versus the protein, it was resolved. In earlier transformation, RNA versus DNA versus protein, narrowed to DNA versus the protein, it was resolved. The unequivocal proof that DNA was the genetic material, and that means RNA also genetic material in few viruses like QB bacteriophage, tobacco mosaic virus, HIV virus. In overall, nucleic acids are genetic material in all living organisms without any exception. Next, non-genetic RNA, if you take mRNA, rRNA, tRNA. So, the dynamic functions exhibited by this RNA, because there is a structural flexibility, functional adaptability according to cellular cues. What do you call it is dynamic nature. If you see the intensity of the dynamic nature of RNA, mRNA highest dynamic nature, quickly degrade, quick synthesis, so highest dynamic nature. Moderate in case of the tRNA. tRNA can move and brings the amino acid. Then rRNA, that is structural as well as catalytic, that is ribozyme. So all catalytic RNA are structural RNA, but all structural RNA are not a catalytic. So RNA exhibit dynamic nature, mRNA, tRNA, and it is rRNA. Next, why DNA abundant genetic material and prefers to store genetic information? Why not it is RNA? RNA prefer to transfer genetic information. If we see the chemical difference between the DNA and RNA, every nucleotide having the 2OH, and DNA deficit of the 2OH at a second carbon. And any genetic material, it must possess these certain properties. That is, replicability, it should produce its copies. DNA through replication, RNA by transcription. And it should highly stable structurally as well as the chemically, it should be highly stable. Third, it should express mutability, that is versatility, allows for slow changes. Fourth, expressivity, it should express the character in form of Mendelian character. Progenies must be similar to parent. So, replicability, stability, mutability, expressivity, any genetic material, it should possess these features. Next, replicability, that is both DNA, RNA produce its replicas. DNA by replication, RNA by transcription. But protein never produce its replicas. So, replicability is very, very important feature because for continuation of characters from generation to generation, it has to produce its copies. Protein never involved in case of the replication. So proteins never be a genetic material. So DNA, RNA are only genetic material. Next, stability. And other most important feature of any genetic material, it should be, that is stability. It should be highly stable enough in case of living organism during different phases of the life cycle or changes in physiology or age or metabolic changes. It should be highly stable enough. And stability, it was evident in Griffith experiment, the transformation experiment, that is heat killed bacteria. Some properties of genetic material remain unaffected. During heating, the two strands of the DNA unwinded. When conditions are provided, the two strands become complementary. So DNA highly stable. And RNA, it is labile and highly degradable because the 2OH present at every nucleotide makes the RNA labile and highly degradable because it acts as a nucleophile and it breaks on its own backbone, breaks the phosphodiester bond. So RNA is highly labile and degradable because of the 2OH. And RNA being catalytic, it is highly reactive. RNA, why it is catalytic? Because it is highly reactive because of the 2OH present at every nucleotide residue. Next. So, in this context, DNA and RNA, DNA is chemically less reactive and structurally highly stable. In this context, both DNA and RNA both are genetic material. Next, mutability. Both DNA and RNA undergo mutation because slow changes which are required in case of evolution both exhibit mutation, but RNA undergoes mutation quickly than it is the DNA. So RNA shows high versatility than the DNA. The viruses having RNA genome having shorter life cycle because RNA can mutate at a faster rate. Next, expressivity. RNA can directly express the character by synthesizing the protein because the protein synthesizing mechanism evolved around RNA. DNA also synthesizes the protein but through RNA. So in this context, both DNA and RNA both are genetic material. But DNA prefers to store genetic information because of its structural features. RNA prefers to transfer genetic information because of its structural features like the 2OH at every nucleotide. So DNA stable structurally and chemically, and RNA it is highly unstable. It prefers to transfer genetic information.